Hello everyone, I'm CJ.
And I'm Ashley.
And today we're going to get under the covers of A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan, winner of the Pulitzer Prize. And before we start, I want to make a brief disclaimer. I did not finish the book. First time in Under the Covers history, I did not finish a book.
Yeah.
But I marked my progress, well, the progress I made.
Your little progress.
with my John Green, A Fall in Our Stars bookmark, which, do you know where I got this from?
I believe I do. I think it could have been from me.
It was from you.
And I marked my progress with my Banned Books Week bookmark.
Cool.
I think I actually started reading it during Banned Books Week.
Nice. And A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan was published in 2010 by Random House Books. And it is, well, this edition anyways, is 340 pages. And I also have a coupon for Maxwell House International Coffee Mix in there. I don't know how that got in there. Maybe when I left it upstairs. Anyways, let's talk about the plot. Ashley, since you've read the entire book and I've only read most of the book, let's let you handle this one.
The plot was a little difficult to pinpoint down to some specifics because it follows two characters, Benny and Sasha, and then other characters that kind of come in and out of their lives, but it follows them throughout their whole lives, basically for decades. It's kind of just following them and what becomes of their lives.
Right. And let's talk about the timeline a little bit. It doesn't have a start point and an end point. It kind of skips back and forth in time.
Non-linear, yeah.
It's very non-linear, and that's what threw me off and kind of what I didn't like. But
as I said to CJ earlier, it was kind of like reading Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, trying to figure out where you were all the time. But it was, for me, I thought that was kind of interesting.
I mean, I guess this goes into what we like and what we don't like. But, I guess if it was all written in the same tense, it would have been easier for me to read, because there's a chapter where it's in present tense, or not tense, point of view. Mm-hmm. One was in first person point of view, the other one was in third person point of view. I think it would have been easier for me to, read if it was all in one tense, I guess. But let's talk about what we liked and what we didn't like. You could go first.
I definitely liked the themes of the book that it touched on. There's a lot about time and time passing you by and what happens in your life that you're not planning for. Like, you end up someplace that you never thought that you would end up, and how does that happen? And then also touching on experiences, these cultural experiences, and if you're a part of them, how do you get to be a part of them? Being on the outside of an experience, I thought that was interesting too. I really liked those themes.
I also like the theme of time and time passing you by, because there's an interesting chapter later on in the book. One of the chapters I skipped ahead to. It's written in slides, and it's about Sasha, one of the characters, and I believe it's her children. I don't know.
It's her daughter.
Yes. It's her children.
Her daughter keeps a slide diary, a PowerPoint diary.
And it talks about Sasha's son listening to music and finding the pauses in songs. And I really like that, because there's this idea of time and what you do in your time. And while there's pauses, nothing's going on. So it kind of creates this weird, there's time to do stuff and you're not doing it, but the time that they're not doing it has a big impact on the song. So yeah. I thought that was really interesting. I like that. I also liked the references to old punk bands like Iggy Pop and Blondie and the Police and NoFX, because I like stuff like that. That's my thing. That's what I thought this whole book was going to be about, was old punk bands and stuff like that. And I like the glimpses at the old punk scene, because it was something I was never a part of, so it interests me. So I like that. And, now let's talk about things we didn't like, because I didn't like that there wasn't enough of music and
Yeah, you were a little misled. So
I was
okay.
a little bit. You were misled too.
I was misled.
It even says
I
on
wasn't
the back.
disappointed though.
It even says on the back. Where's it at?
It says
you pointed this out.
Music pulsing on every page.
Yeah, there was not music pulsing on every page.
Some pages.
A lot of pauses in the music because I wanted more punk bands.
Yeah.
I also didn't like all the jumps in time, and I think it would have been better for me, like I said before, if it was all in the same tense. Like one of them was in first person, and it went from Sasha's perspective to I believe Benny's perspective, but Benny's was in the first person and hers was in the third person. So, like, I didn't know who I was reading until, like, halfway through.
That is something that I liked overall, having the nonlinear timeline, but changing perspectives all the time, and I didn't always know who I was, like, whose perspective I was reading from, and then I would have to, once I figured it out, go back and kind of reread to get in the right mindset, so that was slightly annoying.
But maybe she did that on purpose for you to have to go back.
She could have. I mean, playing with the point of view and playing with the timeline it leads into that whole theme of time that's in the book.
It kind of seemed like she was just, like, showing off, like, oh, look at me, I can write in first person.
It was...
Oh, I can write in second person. Oh, I can write in slide format.
Yeah.
I can use text font and
it was
stuff
a little
like
much
that.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Trying too hard, maybe.
A little bit. Okay, let's get into our final thoughts and ratings. Ashley, how about you go first?
All right, I'd love to. I overall like the book a lot. I like the themes of it, the passage of time, and the experience. I didn't like how sometimes I didn't know who I was. Crap, now I had something I was going to say, and now I forgot it.
Oh.
Hang on.
Well, when you figure it out, while you're figuring out, I'll go. My final thoughts are, as I mentioned before, I did not finish this book. So I guess I didn't like it. Like, I liked all the old references to punk bands. Like, I thought that was cool, and I like how they played with the concept of time and, like, what you do in your time and, like, what you want to be as opposed to what you become. Like, I like that, but the writing style just totally threw me off. And, like, I feel like stupid for saying it, but it totally threw me off. Like, I've read books like this before, but there was just something about this that I just couldn't grasp. Did you figure out what you were going to say?
I think it was something along the lines of how I really liked it being about ending up someplace you didn't expect to be. Because I think that happens to everyone. I don't think anyone's life ends up exactly how they planned, so I really liked that.
I expected to be sitting right here doing book reviews with Ashley. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't expect that.
So I like that. There was a part where I almost was like, I don't know about this book. But
Did you almost give up?
I almost gave up, but I persevered, and then I ended up really liking it.
Oh, you persevered.
Yeah.
Maybe I just didn't like it. And
that's fine.
Perseverance, I could persevere reading other books. So let's get into our final ratings. Ashley, this is a first in our reviewing history.
I know. But it had to happen sometime.
The streak is over. I gave A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan 2.5 out of 5 stars. For the reasons I mentioned before, sorry.
It's okay. I gave it 4 stars, and I would really implore you to finish the book and maybe update your rating, because maybe it'll change.
Maybe I'll revisit it on my own and redo my review. But so that comes out to 6.5 out of 10 stars, but which on a grading scale is a D, maybe a D plus. But if we're gonna grade it on a curve, since I didn't finish the book,
probably like a C.
Probably like a C plus at the most, like low C plus though, not high C plus. Yeah, so I guess that's all we have for A Visit from the Goon Squad, once again by Jennifer Egan. If you've read the book and you want to let us know what you think, you can do so in comments. The like button's down here as well. Sorry for pointing at your boobs. I did not mean to. The like button is seriously right here. I'm not trying to... Anyways, if you like the channel, go ahead and subscribe. That's always cool. If you don't like the video, you can dislike it and let us know why, because criticism, as long as it's constructive, is good.
Yes, we appreciate that.
So that's all we have. See you later.
Adios.